Okay folks, this is my first YouTube video. I'm out here at my parents' farm where I have built them an aquaponics system, and I'm just going to do a little tour and show you what we've got. We have our IBC tote. We've got about, I think it's 33 catfish. There's a couple of adults in there, and the rest of them are pretty small, about 4 or 5 inches. We come back here. I've got a swirl aerator or vortex aerator that we're using in conjunction with an air pump going there, and I'll show that here in just a second. But it overflows into my radial flow filter that's working really well. From the radial flow, of course, into our sump. Now I built this whole thing so it can be moved because we weren't sure if we wanted to keep it here or not. But in the sump, you see we have all the water flowing back in. And we put these pot scrubbers in. Saw this on another video on YouTube to just use as a surface for the bacteria, the nitrifying bacteria to grow on. And our little pump back there in the corner. Now the pump pumps up, and I have it splitting in between the aerator and the grow beds. So here we have our floating raft bed. We've got some cabbage, some kohlrabi that's kind of looking a little wimpy, some celery that has just started to sprout, some arugula, romaine, and of course some more cabbage. And then I've got a new thing of romaine. These I started in rock wool. The rest of them we started from seed directly into the hydrotone or the expanded clay. So that seems to be doing well. From there we go to our media bed, which I'm going to walk around to the other side to get a better view. We have tomatoes, onions, pole beans, sugar snaps, broccoli, kale, bib lettuce, beets, just a hodgepodge. We got some watermelons and some cucumbers in there as well. It's just a hodgepodge of everything. We built the arbor to help direct the tomato plants away from the media bed to give everything else the sunlight, as well as an arbor for our beans to grow up. I've still got to finish the arbor for the sugar snap peas that we've got going here, and we've got one lone little little plant here. I forget what it is. Well, anyhow, but we've harvested some of the broccoli already. We've got a tremendous number of romaine tomatoes coming up. Just a bunch of little baby romaine, or Roma that is, I'm sorry. Back on in there, there's just a huge cluster of them. But everything seems to be doing well. One thing that I did build to this, just to give it a try, was our drain from the media beds and the floating raft. I've opened it up and using it as a NFT, which seems to be doing well. We've just stuck some random plants in here. There's one of the cabbage plants that's been growing in this NFT from day one, and it's really doing well. Some different types of strawberries. But we've got the drain from the floating raft coming directly into it, and then at the far end you can see we've diverted some of the flow to the very end. That way it's always feeding a nice stream through there. We've got some open holes here that I'm going to have to get filled before they get full of algae. But that's just kind of a general overview of the system. The only thing that's left is our little swirl aerator, or vortex aerator, which It's not putting a tremendous amount of air into the system, but it's doing a pretty good job. You can see I got a little Venturi belt to it to just add that little bit more air, but as that thing swirls around and sucks that water down in there, it's pulling the air out. Goes down about 2.5 feet into the IBC tote, and from there it's you can see it's bubbling up, nice little fine bubbles. Every now and then it belches out a nice big bubble, but it's doing a pretty good job. But here's kind of a little aerial of the whole system. We built this back in March. It's the end of May, so I'm pretty satisfied. Looks like here in about a couple of weeks we're definitely going to have a fair number of Roma tomatoes coming off of it, and the Rutgers that we've got in the back are they've got plenty of blooms and a few little tomatoes already developing, so should be a pretty good harvest. But that's my video for now, and I'll try to update it again towards the end. So hopefully this has worked for you, and I appreciate any comments, any advice. This is my first system, and I hope to build another one even bigger.